still alive. Upon the tide, with the sea I did abide. Hey! Mars? Why not? What do you mean there's no, like, anything? There's beautiful. There's rocks. Rocks are awesome. Rocks are a thing. You can't say there's nothing there. There's rocks. There's an atmosphere, just not one that, will support life. Yes. Okay. Right. For now, anyway. Uh-huh. Yep. Okay. Right. Right. Hmm. It's sound. Oh, it's sure. It's sound logic. The question is, can you find publishers who want that? And are you willing to take what they're willing to pay? Right. Like if you look at the Shadow Dark RPG, right? It's Shadow Dark was a very successful OSR type game. It made like a couple million on Kickstarter, and it's very first second edition type game, and all of the art is black and white stuff, second edition style, or first or second, right? Um, so especially in the OSR industry, you know what OSR means? Old school. The R changes depending on who you ask. But it's either like old school revival, old school renaissance, old school whatever. Um, yeah. So in that industry, a lot of people will definitely be interested in that kind of art. But can they pay what you would want? So the only solution I don't know how much they pay. They don't have a lot of money usually. You'll Good night, Patrick. Mhm. Mhm. Yep. Right. Is $100 too much though? Hmm? Not bad for you, but will they pay it? Hey, Cheshire Cat. Yeah. What I my uneducated advice to all my artist friends like you and Blake and all else being equal, right? The pay isn't probably going to change, right? If anything, pay is going down, right? Cost of everything else going up. The budgets for those, economies is shit. Those people don't have the publishers don't necessarily have the money, so pay might actually be going down. But let's say all else being equal, pay is equal. The quality that they want is equal, right? The quality of other artists is the same as yours. The only thing you can do is get faster. Because if you're faster, you can do this. Like Francesca, who she has to be incredibly fast. I don't understand how. So, so, I, but I will say this: I have not seen any of you guys, by the small little art community on Twitch of artists that I know. I've not seen any of you guys practice speed intentionally. Like I've seen you constantly, you guys pushing yourselves to do better lighting, better composition, better rendering, get, just like you said, trying to push to those like epic pieces. Nobody's saying Steve sketches sort of with his sketchathons, he is sort of forced to practice speed because he's got this person's paid me for only this many minutes. I got to get this done in that many minutes. And I've not seen anyone else do that. Why? No, you don't. No, you don't. You just ignore chat for the next 10 minutes. I've got 10 minutes. I want to get this done. Boom. Do it. So, eh. Can you stream and ignore chat but talk about your sketch? So you're connected to chat in the sense that you're not ignoring your viewers. You're talking about what you're doing. Are we gonna do like Bob Ross? Think about Bob Ross. He's painting super fast. He's talking about the painting that he's doing, right? Sure, fine. They didn't take him 3 hours to do, right? Fine. But do a thing where every stream you started with a speed sketch. Every stream, warm up, the next 10 minutes, speed sketch. And at the beginning and end of your stream, you could do it twice. Then every time you're streaming, you're practicing it. Put a pad of paper on the toilet, on the toilet tank, and every time you sit down to take a shit, instead of a phone, sketch, real quick. No, it's on the toilet tank. It's on the toilet tank just to be there, and then you pick it up and you hold it, and then fine. This might be we might be onto something, Ali. Yeah, I mean, why not? Or to put even put your book on there if you're gonna read, or your phone. I swear we have. What the fuck? Why are we your nachos? Right, you can put your nachos on a toilet tank. This is This is mind blowing. I need to put this on Kickstarter. This will make us millions. The straddle toilet. It's identical to any other toilet. It's just we'll just brand it differently. Oh my God. Allie, can you sketch cave straddling a toilet in less than 30 minutes? 30 minutes is a lot of time. No, so the reason this is like something I have said this before, the whole speed thing, is because I used to do. Well, Tony Billy Boy has been in prison for 25 years. He's only been out for 3 days. Last time he was a free man at Brooklyn Dodgers, whatever. Sorry, I don't know if you're listening to my stream, but the thing came up and I had to. Yeah, yes. No, I got sidetracked. You got hot chocolate with ramen in it? Oh, rum, not rum. Like hot chocolate with ramen. Ugh. But so years ago I did this home study naturalist training program. Um, that was quite involved. Um, no, no, no. That's the point. That they insisted on speed. They did not want you taking more than so each day there's a lot of homework you had to do, but they did not want you spending more than uh, 30 minutes on it a day, right? So they're like, for some of the homework was, for example, to create. You had categories of animals or plants, whatever, like hazards, for example. That was a category. So they're like, you need to figure out for that level of the program. I don't remember what it was. It was probably like 10 or so different hazards that are around your area. So you have to figure those out. Poison ivy is a hazard. And now they're like, okay, you need to draw, you need to fill out, not just draw, but you need to fill out what's called a field journal page. So kind of like a field guide page about poison ivy. That includes writing a description of what poison ivy is, what it does, a range map of it of North America, and an actual drawing of poison ivy, all in like 20, 30 minutes, right? And the whole point, and without looking at books, like you go read the books, look at the books, and then just from memory doing it because that helps you learn it better. And so using your mind's eye. But the whole point was it doesn't matter if the drawing looks like poison ivy to anybody else. It matters that it looks like poison ivy to you, right? So fast, 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 because the reason they did that is because they knew that the barrier for doing it is the investment of time. So they're like the people would if people knew that or that perfect is the enemy of the good, right? So if people knew that it's going to take them 2 hours to do the homework, they're just not going to do it, right? But by sort of stressing to limit yourself to 20 minutes, you're like, okay, I have 20 minutes to finish this whole thing. I can't spend any more time on that. So I gotta get it done. And you start learning what are the important things in the drawing that I need to include. Now, if you're an illustrator, it's important that your poison ivy looks like poison ivy to other people because your illustration is for other people. Right, then it's communication. But still, you learn what the important elements of poison ivy are, and you put those down first. So, yeah, I think practicing speed is especially when you mention like in light of AI, which can spit out images in seconds. You can't compete with that speed wise, but you just have to be fast because publishers are going to go for somebody who's cheaper, and speed means cheaper. If they can get from you quality and speed, quality, well, they don't care about the speed. They care about the price, and you don't mind getting paid less if you can finish the thing faster, right? So they can get low cost and high quality from you, and incidentally also speed. but which is exactly I that's what Francesca does. There's no other way she could do it. She could do what she does, right? She gets paid probably crap for it, but she's probably somehow super fast. I think she's the Flash of artists. But no way. There's no fucking way. No way. Look at how different all the details are. She's not repeating any elements in maps. It's just I don't know. It's a wonder of the world. But she has to be super fast. I think practicing speed is the one because you're clearly a very good artist. Blake is clearly a very good artist. So many of the other artists we know, but it takes so long. You know, right, right. Hmm. Right. I mean, you start seeing the trees for the forest, right, sort of thing, right? Your brain can see more, so you have to make yeah. So you have to choose like this is the budget that they have for this piece. What do I include within that budget and no more? Yeah, yeah. It's not easy. Can you ask her cave the map lady on how? Can I ask Francesca on how she does? No, she won't tell me. I actually asked her once if she'd be open to like an interview on stream, and she's like, "No, I don't like doing interviews." Yeah, I think she just works 24 hours a day, but she still is extremely fast. And she does it all traditional, so you're like, what the fuck? There's not even an undo button. But sometimes an undo button makes things slower because you just feel like I'm gonna try this and this and this and this and this and this and it's just one fucking line. Put the line down and move on. If you just did it with a pen, all right, done. I did the line. If it's fucked up, it's fucked up. I'm moving on. Did you offer to use the Sean Connery voice? I did not. I did not. You think that'll work? Uh, really? Oh God. It's not. The best example of your two's convo, I watch him all the time. Speed thumbnails, and then the crowd picks one. Wait, who are we talking about? What if Jay Stiller? Oh, oh, Jay Stiller 30 is the best. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Steve Sketches is probably the fastest artist on Twitch that I know. Um, Phil Stone is the fastest artist I know. It's he did some of the black and white D&D set. Yes. He did yeah, he did what's the vampire from Baldur's Gate 3? Um yeah, yes. No, the one in your group. Astarion. Yeah. Yeah. So he did that card. Uh and he Phil is it's incredible to watch him work so fucking fast. He was the artist on this show that used to be on Twitch called Whose Monster Is It, where another friend of mine, Casey, used to host, and it would be Casey as a host. It would be usually one or two other guests that are in from the gaming industry or just friends, and then Phil, and we'd basically create a monster live on stream, and with stats and everything, and chat was involved in the process. So the guests kind of start the process, and but we definitely take chat gets to determine, like, well, how many legs is this thing gonna have, things like that. And Phil is drawing this live as we're talking, right? And he wasn't necessarily like, he was getting everything done. It was within an hour, and he was getting everything done probably 90%. Like, then he would, after the stream, he would polish it a bit, and then post it. Um, and they're all just black and white. I mean, all of his art is black and white. Um, Fucking so fast. God, and definitely good enough. You know, I don't know that there's a whole lot of market for black and white stuff, which is unfortunate. But in the OSR community, there is, I think. So just have to start, like, getting to know those people. Um, Everybody does, but then when you think when they want to publish a book, they want everything full color, right? But then they don't have the money to pay for it, so they go to some Brazilian artist or something, or Polish. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you start making, um, I would say, if it's something you're really pushing towards, start looking for groups on Facebook and whatever, and using the like that old those old school hashtags, posting in those old school groups, just so that people start recognizing your art. Oh God, yeah, I posted almost nothing this year, but I also did almost nothing this year. So so yay! All right, so I'm done creating forests, guys. Isn't that amazing? Let's get the map on the table and see if those forests actually fucking fit where they're supposed to. Oh, is that the one with the motorcycle? All right, later. Good chat. Get out of Mars. You've done arboreal. Oh God. Jason Charles Miller, create a song on the Idol Champions of the Forgotten Realms show on Twitch each week. Yeah, Cranston, why can't you create a song as quick as Jason Charles Miller? With an H. S with an H. To do some correcting on this edge. It's too straight. Takes me about an hour to make a song if I cheat and reuse the music. Let's do substantial. so much more weight. I remember doing some speed stuff way back when I started streaming. Chat makes character. Keep doing it. Here's the thing. If you're fast enough, you can say yes to more jobs because they will be lower budgets, but you can be like, yeah, I can do that. Because you know you can make that hourly money worth it. Realized that it also became a let's save our channel points for the event instead of commissions. Um, yeah, but you can do it where it's not chat telling you what to do. And if you need the ideas, just have chat give you ideas, but they're not, you know. With an H. That's better. Not straight lines. Straight lines. Forests. Allie, hold on. I've got a question for you. Might want this. You and Chris might want this. Oh God. You know the Tome of Adventure Design? Straight lines of farms. Yes. This, it's a pretty massive, heavy book. Um, and all it is tables. All it is tables. Table 1-1B, locations, roll a die, and you got structures description, airborne, aromatic, azure, below ground, black, blue, bone, that structure. So you've got the airborne asylum of the beast, right? No, this is actually under 19 other books. Cranston, you're a hoarder. Um, and even on the margins, you've got all of these just phrases and words, right? For inspiration. And the reason I'm asking is if you need ideas for drawings, use something like this. You're like, all right, let's take 5 minutes to roll in this book and then 10 minutes to draw the thing, right? And I have an extra copy of this because not this one, but the other copy I have was damaged at the printer. There's like strange holes, little like holes in the pages in some cases. Um, if you want it, I will send it to you because I don't need two copies. So if you need something, preservation, what is this? This is person part continued. I don't know. Type of essence of the eye of a peasant removed in the dark of the new moon. This is for adventure design, but it would be cool for art ideas as well. Because then you're not only drawing characters all the time, right? Or dragons all the time. You're like, all right, I need to draw I need to draw the something that hangs from the ceiling by chains, right? Um, I need to draw just all kinds of weird shit, but you have to do it fast. But yeah, ask Chris if you guys want it. It's yours. Oh God. If nothing else, my bookshelves have insulative properties. I just need to not. Right. Well, you get the idea from the book, not from chat. I have a strong reaction to not do what I'm told, so I want to do it already. Well, that got news for you. When you work for money for publishers, you have to do what you're told. I suppose getting paid takes care of the wanting to do it part, maybe. She's been gone like ever want. Commissioned some painting of a house. Boring as poop. Ah, they want another building. I don't want to do it, so I charge more. Still said they would pay. So that's my solution. I swear, art as a career is what people who don't like to just who don't it's for lazy people. It's for people who don't want to work. we This is like I don't want to do that. People who could never just have a job, right? And never be happy with just a job that you do to get paid so that you could do other things and survive. No. No. Just incapable of doing something for the sake of doing it. You have to enjoy it. I'm the same way. By that logic, I'm an artist. Yep. Because I mean, so many artists are like, I don't want to do that, and you just start. Well, my solution is to increase my price, and I've seen so many artists, myself included, basically price ourselves out of a job, right? And then we're like, why don't I get the jobs? Because you didn't want to do the jobs, so you asked for more money, and until no one was able to pay for it. In my case, I mean, it really does just take so long that even if I charged minimum wage, no one would be able to afford it. So might as well charge what I want to charge, and the few who can. Why would I not just invest in I mean, you can always also start doing a bunch of it's peanuts, right? It's stock footage, right? But start doing 10-minute sketches of like you open that book and you're like ruins, temples, fortresses, whatever. And like, all right, I'm doing 10-minute sketches. Fortress done, next. Fortress done, next. Fortress done, next. Creating a fuck ton of them and putting them on Drive Through RPG as assets people could use for commercial use for their books. Just, you know, they don't get exclusive license, right? You want to buy a pack of 20 different fortresses, just line drawings, right? Um, all of those old little sketches from first, second edition. And then if people that's honestly a way to get your name out there because people will be looking at those maybe and seeing, oh well, you know what? That's not exactly what I want. And so maybe they message you and they go, "Hey, I saw your thing, but I need something specific. Can you do that?" Heading home. Draw random shit all the time. Well, you're gonna have to be more intentional, right? Because you want to create themes on topic choice with mine. Why are we breaking out of jail? Down, down. He was up. Scream. Metaphorically. A metaphoric jailbreak. This guy, not quite right. Too big. See if I can shrink it. Off. If you think about it, why was Bob Ross so good? Because he found a way to do the work fast and communicate in his painting, communicate things fairly clearly that if you try to detail them would take hours to do. But he found a way to cheat and create the illusion of detail because he figured out what are the important elements to communicate and put those down rather than waste time the unimportant one. Just a different way of looking at it. So I think oil makes things so much faster. Does oil make things any faster than digital, say, or pen? I think you can find ways to make it fast with no matter your medium to it within limitations. I've gotten as fast as I can get with my stuff. But but once you have like Allie knows her shit. Allie's a good artist. She knows her anatomy, right? You know your anatomy, Allie. You know composition, you know lighting. It's not like those things are things you're like still struggling to learn. You're struggling to maybe push the envelope and get even better, but you don't need to. Anyone, publishers that want to hire you, they're not gonna be looking at your stuff and going, "Oh man, I wish she was better." Right. So I think practicing speed is the most valuable thing because you honestly do get better if you can make the same thing faster. You can't help but get better with everything else. Digital, too many options. That's true. Yes, you have to consciously limit yourself. Saying no, I'm not zooming in. That's the biggest problem for digital artists is that they tend to zoom in too far and work on details no one will actually see. I don't like harassing. Yeah, keep it simple. Ali, the beholder you did for flavor text, would you consider that a sketch that you would do for a publisher? Like, is that the kind of stuff you're thinking, or you're thinking simpler, like pushing even simpler stuff? That's closer to inks. I know, because no matter how many times I tell artists like Ali or Joby I want a sketch, they give me inks. Quick keys. I'm not good at quick keys. Yeah. It's expectations. All right. I've got an hour. What do I do with this hour? Fix those woods. I gotta wait for that to dry. I need to move this out of the way. So wait, no, there was a thing I needed to fix on this one. Another world. Okay, that's fixed. Quite far, and you don't need a car. Yes, they are. It's all buckskin. That's why it's a pain in the ass, because finding the right procedure to be able to make them look good and be the correct shape and size to fit in between these rivers, considering they're constantly shrinking and warping. Oh, pain in the ass. Um, I can paint. I can start painting mountains. All right, let's take a look at mountains. Painting mountains, which is going to involve some experimenting with the color first. So I'm not that, so that's fine. Take all these aside. They're not going to go permanently on the map until much later. All of these are going to get cut up into pieces and put behind individual hills over here. That's not that's not going to happen for a while. Grab a bag so I don't lose any of these forests, because if I do, I'll be really, really mad at myself. They shrink faster. They shrink a lot, yeah. And it was the biggest challenge was keeping things, keeping the shapes to fit inside these rivers in a aesthetically pleasing way, so they still follow the contours of the river and that. So it took a while to figure out how to do that, and it's still not foolproof, but it works. So we're good. We're done. That. Did you guys notice how fast I stood up? Like it wasn't perfect fast, but it was, oh, it's not hurting as much. I do have a gray, rarely ever use. Let's try it. Here come the MIBs. I'm the man in black. The good guys dressed in black. I've also noticed you grown in pain. The other 3 times you stood up. Oh, it's hurting. It's hurting for sure. I mean, I groan in pain even when even when my back isn't technically hurting a lot. There's still pain, and I still groan like an old man. But it's because I am. Because there's always pain. But yesterday it was pain on 1 to 10. It was at 8. Today it's at a 6.5 to 7. So near us, don't jeer us. We're fearless, MIBs, freezing up all the flack. What's that stand for? Men in black. In. Instead of wasting time grinding this, because gray is easy, unlike green. I'm gonna toss this. I'm gonna make it in. Ellie, another thing you could do is have a Patreon tier. You have a Patreon, right? You can have a Patreon tier where you get people get a speed sketch. They don't get to keep the original. Or maybe they do. I don't know. Whatever you care to do. A speed sketch once a month, or people who subbed for a certain number of months, right? For every 12 months of sub on Twitch, you get a 10-20 minute sketch, right? They don't get to direct it. They don't get, they can say I want describe it in 5 words, right? Or describe it in a tweet. Then you can put it on Twitter. And if they can write it to you in a tweet, then you respond with the sketch. It took you a certain limited amount of time. That way it's not channel points that's free. You actually got paid, right? But it just took time. If it's subs, it took them a year or whatever. But it's an excuse for you to practice being fast. Prompt engineering for the AV art. Because I mean, yeah, given the choice, I don't know what you would choose, but most artists, given the choice, seem to choose to practice the slow and intricate work, right? So the key, just like that naturalist training program, the key is to make it easy to do. You make it easy to do. If there's enough incentive to do it, you'll do it. If you make it part of your life, you'll do it. So your sketchbook says otherwise. Well, there you go. But you also need to practice working for other people because you're trying to do work for publishers. So practicing working for other people by, hey, you subbed for 12 months? Great. You now get to give me art direction that you can include in a tweet. If you can't include it in one tweet, I'm not going to do it. Throw a tweet at me and I'll do a 20-30 minute sketch based on that. And then that's good practice for working with dumb publishers who basically give you that. A shitty tweet with instructions. I'm of the side of artists that I prefer detail. Like I want people to give me detail so that I know what to do. I don't like it when people be like, just make something up. No. Give me detail and I'll add to it. Give me nothing, can't work. But basically, my point is find ways to incorporate the practice into your life in a way that it's not additional work that you now have to do, but it's built-in work that you want to do because you got paid for it from subs or from Patreon or or whatever. So that's why I'm serious. I said this last night about the studying for exams on the toilet. That's why I started doing that and started putting like novels. And there's always, if you've been to my house, there's an RPG book and there's a fantasy novel. And when I was studying for certifications online and stuff, I would print out the questions and whatever, and I'd put those out there because I'm gonna be taking a shit at least once, twice most days. Instead of being on my phone, now it's part of something that I'm doing while I'm doing something else, which is taking a shit. And it worked. It fucking worked. I'm actually getting through books, right? I'm actually learning something or getting through books slowly, but I'm getting through it. So, am I the weird person where I just poop on my phone? I think that might be maybe it's a woman thing. I think women just go to the bathroom, they just go as quickly as possible and then just move on with their life. I think guys will read, scroll on their phone. I mean, it's a time where you get some peace and quiet. Nobody's gonna bother you. Even the perceived, I mean, no one's gonna bother me either way. I live alone. But it's that perceived coziness of being completely alone. No one's gonna call. No one's gonna bother me. I can sit here. It's a break from everything else that I have to do. I can't worry about that stuff because right now I'm pooping. I'm performing the most basic of biological functions, and therefore I can't worry about anything else. So while I'm doing that, why don't I take that time to do something, you know, else that I want to do? Gotham is a great place to read. See? Every time I read, I get through 2 pages at most before it's time to get out of there. That's 2 pages that I would not get through otherwise. Because when I'm not sitting still at the toilet, there's Japanese Duolingo about. See? When I'm not sitting still on the toilet, there's watching a TV show. Not on TV, but you know what I mean. There's like binging something. Or there's watching a friend's stream on Twitch. Or there's playing a game. Or there's doing work like this or some other shit work for like administrative stuff, right? All of this stuff. So, toilet is a great opportunity to get that stuff done. Under. But this is just a paint test. See what the colors are like. I don't know what it is. Actually, it's funny. Will Wheaton was talking about that in a recent post, I think from yesterday, last few days anyway. Whereas like at one point, is not sure when it happened, but at some point he stopped picking up gaming books and just reading them for the sake of reading them, which I used to do as a kid all the time. I read the player's handbook cover to cover. I read monster manuals cover to cover. You know how long it's been since I've done that? Fuck. I mean, until the last year, right? Where I started doing this, like just put the book that I want to get through and and do it. It's in small pieces. Works. And I need to. Can't you just sit? Can't you just sit? Okay, you've done your thing. Can you not extend the time between the thing being done and the cleanup? That's the magic window. That's where the stuff is the stuff is happening. I'm not Nobody said, I've got news for you, Cranston and Alley. There is no law that says you must leave the bathroom. You must clean up immediately upon the thing being done. You feel icky sitting there? Why? What's the difference? The poop was inside of you this whole time. There's poo. You can flush. You can do a preemptive flush so it doesn't smell, but now it's on the outside. Let go. Let go of that. Bask in the poo, in the poo-ness. I could run the bidet, but it has a heated seat. It's too easy to lose time in there. The question is, are you losing time or are you making time for things that you normally wouldn't? That's the point. If my ass cheeks having to brush a turd, now it's on me. But it is on you. It was in you. It is you. It was part of you. COVID made it so I can't smell poo. Problem solved. If I had a bidet, I would sit there longer because I would feel clean.